This is the songwriting deck. It looks like a game, but it's not a game that you win by playing by the game rules. Rather, it's a game that you play by making actual music. It's actually more of a gamified set of songwriting exercises, and it's also an excellent tool to fight writer's block. And it actually packs a lot thanks to its clever design. This is something I backed on Kickstarter almost a year ago, and today we'll see exactly what's inside and how it works, so you can see if it's something for you or not. So here we go. So it's been created by Friedemann Findeisen from the YouTube channel Holistic Songwriting. If you don't know his channel but you know mine, you're probably doing YouTube backward, but if so, the link will be in the description down below. So the cards are divided into 5 decks for the lyrics, harmony, melody, rhythm and structure of the song. And you also have a little instruction book to know how to use them. And each card uses both sides, so the way it works is that you can take one card or combine several. This way you have a ton of combinations to make. So for example, with the lyrics deck, you have on one side a theme with 9 words, and on the other side you have different indications. So with this you can do several things. You can take one card and use those words to write about the theme, or you can use them to write about the theme of another card. Or you can draw a third card and use the matrix to select one word on each card to come up with a new theme. So for example, with this one, I would take the word on the middle right from the first card and on the bottom left from the second card. So that would be tomb and ritual, so here the theme could be something about a dark cult or something. Then on the right here you have an exercise on how to write your lyrics. So for example, the exercise on this one is trading space, write a melody with a loss of rests and fill them with shouts from backing choirs or backing vocals. Below that on the left you have a blank line that you can try to include in your lyrics, which is nice to write a chorus. So on this one the challenge would be to include the sentence my status update or your status update. On the right you will have 2 emotions that you can choose to write about. Here would be hopeful and exhausted. And at the bottom you have an example of an email coming from a client asking you for a song, which can make a great exercise. For example, on this one it says, coming at you with another round of spots for Blue Hole Hotel. They're looking for modern, fresh songs. Nothing that sounds too fake or electronica, no folk music or anything that's sugar sweet, something with a bit of an edge for a primarily male audience, nothing female please. Quick pacing, Heather. What I find very cool about these cards is their modular nature. You can use each exercise alone, or you can try combining them. The more you combine, the more difficult it will be, but the more indication you would have. So for example, if we'd like to combine all of them, we could have the theme here with something related to ritual and tomb. We could then follow this email from a client that says, hey, it's Matt, big news, I'm taking part in the Eurovision Song Contest this year. Maybe you could whip up something special that will win over the audience. We're already working on our stage show, we've got exotic dancers and fire eaters on stage. Our take is burlesque, circus, wonder, amazement. Ideas? Matt. For the way of writing the lyrics, we can take this exercise, write about a fictional character, how do they see the world, how do they talk, how do they behave in social situations. So with this related to a tomb and rituals, I'm thinking about maybe a zombie or a vampire, something like that. Then we could try to include this blank line that says, hope you find something. That should be an easy one. Then for the emotions to focus on, we can use the one from this card that says cold and nostalgic. So this could be about a vampire who could be nostalgic of another time where he was alive. And as an extra challenge, we can try to fit in those words, which are all theater related with stage, drama, fake, pretentious, actor, simulation, cliché, limelight, and action. Here we used 8 cards, which can be a bit extreme, but you know you can play with this, and it's a great way to get new inspiration. Now with the harmony cards, you will have a set of 9 chord progressions on one side, with the corresponding scale degrees below. It seems like they are all in C major, and some of them use borrowings, but then on the other side of the card, you will have the 7 degrees of a given tonality, with some substitution ideas below each of them. So you could use that alone to make your own chord progression, or you could use it to transpose what's on the other side of another card. If you are confused about that part and you want to learn more about music theory, you will find a complete series of tutorials on my channel. You'll find them in the playlist called Music Theory in 5 minutes. Then on the same card you would also have a matrix to help you choose chord progressions from 2 other cards. So with this combination, the chord progression would go from G major to F major, then A minor to F major. And then on each card you will also have an exercise that you can try to write chord progressions. For example, on this one, the exercise is called line cliché, and it says, a line cliché refers to a stepwise melody, often the bass, that is baked into your chord progression. It can be chromatic. You can also use one card on its own by taking a progression from the first column and then a progression from the second or third column, because they are organized in a particular way. The left column is good for starters, the second is simpler to finish a loop, and the third one is supposed to be a little bit more challenging. Then the first row should sound happier, it sounds mostly major, the second row sounds sadder, more minor, and the last row can sound a bit more unusual. Now the melody cards are pretty cool. On one side you have fragments of melodies and you can combine 2 cards or more to have a fragment to complete, which I found pretty clever. Again, these are all in C major or A minor, but you can then transpose them to the tonality of your song. On the other side, you have the outline of a melody arc that you can use as a guideline to write your own. You have an exercise like on the other cards. Here it says use only 3 notes. Write a melody that uses only 3 different notes exactly. Below you have 2 opposite words that you can use to inspire your melodies. You can use one for the verse melody and the other for the chorus, which is great to have contrast in your song to make the chorus stand out. And at the bottom you have emails from fictional clients, but unlike the ones in the lyrics cards, these are not scripts, these are feedbacks, which is great to give a fresh twist on a song that you can be stuck with. Then you have the rhythm cards, whose 2 sides are very similar. They have a part at the bottom with punch holes, so you can layer 2 cards and it will build a new rhythm every time that you can use for your kick drum, for example. The line above is a rhythm that you can use for your snare. And at the top of the card you have a time signature that you can try with a suggestion of how to place the accent. So here would be a 6-8 with an accent on the 1 and the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You also have a mini rhythm that you can include in your song with a given tempo, so you can use it to create motifs. And you also have a polyrhythm, which is always fun to try. And finally you have the structure deck. You start with a card that has the play logo on it. It will have the name of the part with the level of energy for that part that is symbolized by the blue part at the bottom. Below the title you will have different types of parts it can connect with. Here for example it can connect to a verse, to a pre-chorus or to a chorus. So I'll draw cards until I get one of those. So you can keep drawing some cards and build the structure of your songs like this until you arrive to a card that has a stop logo on it. It means that it is a potential end. Then on the other side of each card you will have different ideas for what each part is supposed to accomplish. They are sometimes pretty free to interpretation, but you will also have suggested exercises for each of them. These exercises are pretty much what we've seen while describing the cards, and you can find a summary of them behind the instruction book, with the corresponding pages to find more info for each. So this packs a lot, and there are a lot of ideas to be drawn from this, and I love the fact that any card can be combined with any other to create even more ideas. I also like the fact that it is broken into different decks, so you can really target the particular part of your song you're interested in with those exercises, and you can still combine different decks. I think it's a really good tool to combat writer's block as well as coming up with new ideas that you'd never have tried otherwise. I hope this has given you a clear enough overview of what this is all about. I'm pretty excited about it, to have it laying on my desk and draw a couple of cards from time to help me start writing a song. So did you know about it? Would it be useful in your workflow? Let me know what you think in the comments. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching, take care, and I'll see you next time.